Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni haunted by scandals prior to It Ends With Us court hearing. Justin Baldoni sued Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds for $400 million amid It Ends With Us controversy. Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni controversies prior to working on It Ends With Us have been called into question now, with the actors engaged in multi-million-dollar lawsuits against each other. Lively filed a sexual harassment suit in December against Justin Baldoni, his Wayfarer studio and former peer reps. The same day Lively filed her suit, Baldoni filed a $250 million suit against the New York Times for a December article about the alleged smear campaign Baldoni attempted to run against his co-star. Weeks later, Baldoni then named Lively and Reynolds in a separate $400 million defamation lawsuit, in which he accused the Hollywood power couple of attempting to hijack It Ends With Us and create their own narrative. Baldoni, 41, apologized to Lively in a 6-minute message seemingly sent after the pair met to discuss a now infamous rooftop scene from the movie, in which he claimed in legal documents that he felt pressured by Lively's husband, Ryan Reynolds, and her best friend, Taylor Swift, to use Lively's rewritten scene for the film. Frenemies. Lively rose to fame in the 2000s thanks in part to The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants and her starring role on Gossip Girl, where she portrayed Upper East Side It Girl Serena van der Woodsen. The show, which premiered in 2007 and ran for 5 years on the CW network, featured an all-star cast of up-and-coming actors, including Penn Badgley, Chase Crawford, Leighton Meester, and Ed Westwick. On camera, Lively and Meester were sworn frenemies, and off-camera appeared to be no different for the actors too. Lively and Meester reportedly avoid each other like the plague on set, which left their castmates to choose sides. According to a New York Magazine piece published in 2008, executive producer Joshua Safran admitted that Lively and Meester were business as usual on set without unnecessary pleasantries. Blake and Leighton were not friends, Safran told Vanity Fair during the Gossip Girl 10-year anniversary. They were friendly, but they were not friends like Serena and Blair. Yet the second they'd be on set together, it's as if they were. White Wedding. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds said, "I do," on September 9, 2012, in South Carolina at Boone Hall Plantation. The location in Mount Pleasant had 9 slave cabins and was referred to as Slave Street. Nearly 8 years after their wedding, the couple shared regret for hosting the nuptials on a plantation. "We're ashamed that in the past we've allowed ourselves to be uninformed about how deeply rooted systemic racism is," they wrote on Instagram at the time, accompanied by a $20,000 donation to the NAP. "It's something we'll always be deeply and unreservedly sorry for," Reynolds told Fast Company in 2020. "It's impossible to reconcile. What we saw at the time was a wedding venue on Pinterest. What we saw after was a place built upon devastating tragedy." While the film includes challenging subjects of domestic violence and emotional abuse, Lively launched her own hair care line, Blake Brown Beauty, on August 4, the week It Ends With Us was set to premiere theatrically. Additionally, another business opportunity was blooming for Lively, and she released her Betty Bloom's Floral Arrangements collection one day before the movie was released in US theaters. Unhealthy relationship. Justin Baldoni previously admitted he was introduced to pornography at a young age and formed an unhealthy relationship with adult content. "I was introduced to porn when I was 10 years old, long before I ever, could have an erection or even knew how I felt about anything," he told Sarah Grinberg on her A Life of Greatness podcast. "We sexualize this thing, so of course it becomes fascinating and interesting, and you're like, oh my God, boobs. And then, hormones start raging." Baldoni admitted he found comfort in porn when he was alone, or when I felt abandoned, or when I felt hurt or something like that, because it was a dopamine rush. "I didn't know that then. At an early age, I trained my brain to deal with pain with a dopamine hit. While alcohol or drugs were never of interest to him, porn was something he could use in an unhealthy way. And I found myself, over the course of my life, going back to looking at images and videos of naked women when I was feeling necessarily bad about myself, he said. And I knew that it was an issue for me when I would tell myself that I don't want to do that. Script woes. Baldoni's It Ends With Us lawyer, Brian Friedman, previously represented Travis Flores, who accused Baldoni of stealing his movie idea for Baldoni's directorial debut, 5 Feet Apart, which starred Cole Sprouse and Haley Lou Richardson.